Macbeth, Act 1, Scenes 2 and 3. In the beginning of Scene 3, Shakespeare paints the perfect picture of the stereotypical witch. The witch, born of ecclesiastical fantasy, the fantasies of churchmen, which grew in strength in the 16th century and reached its peak in the 1570s to the 1590s with the number of witchcraft trials. At the time of this play, Shakespeare's King James I was a man with a profound interest in witchcraft. In fact, he'd even written a book about the subject. And at the time of his accession to the throne, there was a great deal of activity in the witchcraft statutes. 2 years before this play, in 1604, there was a notorious witchcraft case in London. So at the time of this play, England was really drinking the Kool-Aid, or as Shakespeare puts it, they'd eaten on the insane root that takes the reason prisoner. One of the first legal jurisdictions to doubt the existence of the witch and realize that this whole thing had just been a terrible error was surprisingly the Spanish Inquisition in 1610. This is not what you usually associate with the Spanish Inquisition, a progressive movement. It was not until the 1620s in England that the witchcraft cases started to decline. At this time, there seems to have been an actual decline amongst the educated people in the belief in the very possibility of witchcraft. The conviction grew that it was a fantasy. The conviction grew that the accused did not have the occult powers that they claimed, even if they thought they did. They were frauds. And in the later 1600s, there was the growth of awareness in the mechanical philosophy of Sir Isaac Newton, who regarded the universe as being subjected to laws which were immutable. You could not tamper with the natural law through using spells and witchcraft and the like. So the time of this play was when the fantasy was really creeping into people's minds. And here is the challenge for Macbeth. This is our hero's challenge from Scene 2. It is now a struggle of the mind. And belief in this fantasy will bring about his doom. It is interesting to realize that these witchcraft cases arose from below, arose sporadically, occasionally. Someone would bring up the accusation of witchcraft and other neighbors would chime in. In the case of Essex, where there's been a lot of research in this area, they found that there was on average 4 accusers for each accused witch. In Scene 3, Banquo chimes in. He believes in them. He does not trust them, but he believes in them. Oftentimes, to win us to our harm, the instruments of darkness tell us truths win us with honest trifles, to betray us in deepest consequence. This could be the very definition of fortune-seeking in witchcraft. Oftentimes to win us to our harm, the instruments of darkness, fantasy, tell us lies, win us with our heart's desires, to betray us in deepest consequence.